And a good Saturday afternoon or Saturday, I'm in the wrong day. Oh my goodness. Good Sunday evening to everybody watching Zoom Racing League Division 1 coverage from Austria. Round number 1 of the second season of ZRL, the fastest drivers in the league. Going to battle it out for the first race of the season around the Red Bull Ring in Austria. It is 10 turns, 2.683 miles around. 2 of those turns go to the left, all the rest of them go to the right. 3 DRS zones and a lot of overtaking along the way. It's your boy PBJ here, along with Ethan Patel. How's it going, Ethan?
It's going quite good. I'm excited to see some Division 1 action. We've seen 2 other divisions race and ready to see the fastest of the bunch.
Yeah, these drivers are super quick. First race of the season, there's been some team changes and some new drivers in different spots, different colors. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so starting at the top, we have Ian, who's not currently here, but being replaced by Johannes Ludwig, and Moto Lee racing on the McLaren team or Mercedes team. And then at Red Bull, we have Duncan McCamick, the previous title contender, didn't win, went down to last few races with Peter. And we have Joel Gorin coming up from McLaren last season to join Duncan McCamick to hopefully create a team that can win the Constructors. Then at Ferrari, we have Hunter J coming up from Div 2 after a strong season. And we have Jack Fletcher moving from, I believe he was at Williams last season. Or no, he wasn't at Williams. Jack Fletcher was in the Mercedes, yes. And then at McLaren is a completely new lineup with Lee Hall and HTCP, who will not be racing tonight and being replaced by Pylon. At Aston Martin, we have Peter Giordano retaining his seat as he was the Season 1 champion, and Jack Pemberton joining him from AlphaTauri. Then at the Alpine team, we have Victor Diaz coming from AlphaTauri, and we have Taylor Carter, who was driving for Mercedes at the end of the year last season. At AlphaTauri is a completely new lineup with I Spy Gecko and Sleek, both coming up from Division 2. At Alfa Romeo, we have Alfonso Luis and Cryptid coming up from D3, actually. So it's going to be interesting to see how that lineup pairs. And then at Haas, we have Bob Blah, who's a D1 driver last season from McLaren. And then we have his teammate Russell, who will not be racing today, replaced by Raptor. And then at Williams, they retained both drivers with Garrett Elder and Shaggy Muffin looking to score some points.
There you have it, the fastest drivers in the ZRL going out, and new teams, new colors, new teammates. And here we go, qualifying underway. Looks like Alfonso Luis on the medium tire setting the early provisional pole with a 104.2. That's pretty quick on the medium tires, but I'm expecting Ethan these times to get down into at least the 103s for these guys.
Oh yeah, for sure, because I believe 104.2 was the fastest on a medium in D2 or somewhere around there. So it's definitely going to go down into 103s, especially on softs.
Lee Hall in the McLaren sets the new time of 104.1 on the soft tires.
And this is just at the start of the session as well. So
yeah, the track will get rubbered in, we'll get faster, and continue to get quicker as these guys go around. So let's hop on board with, I think Alfonso Luis is still running those medium tires pretty hard and trying to get a quick lap in. Let's hop on board with him as he heads down to turn number 4. Turn 4, the corner kind of drops away from you a little bit. You got to get a good exit on that corner. Work your way down to turn 5 and 6. Turn 6, tight left-hand turn. Run it right over the curb on the exit. Turn 7, a little bit quicker over to turn 8, which is on the right-hand side. Alfonso Luis losing all of the track right there.
I believe he's had his lap invalidated.
Yeah, he was running really, he's coming into the pits. Yeah. Good call. He was running really close to the edge right there. Let's check out Johan Ludwig in the Mercedes coming into the pits as well. He's also aborted. Let's see. Duncan McCamick's out there on the medium tire.
The Red Bull team running the special liveries, hoping to have a good weekend at their home Grand Prix.
Absolutely. Looks like Duncan's on Actually, I think Duncan may be off the pace. His ERS is not going down, so I don't think he's on a hot lap here.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
see.
about a second up.
Let's see. Jack Pemberton is also off the pace. Looks like everybody's done their first runs back in the pits. Going to put on a fresh set of tires for the second run here.
What's going on with Victor Diaz with a 1:19.1? That is very much unlike him. He's used to fighting at the top of the grid.
Well, look at his sector time through sector 2. He's 10 seconds up on that, so maybe he's did a slow lap to get the tires up to speed. Comes across the line, jumps to P9 with a 104.6 on those medium tires.
That's his pace.
Yeah, we knew he was quicker than that. A lot of new drivers here, like you said, Ethan. A lot of drivers moving up from D2 to D1. We know they're fast. It's going to be so much fun to kind of watch everybody go after. Like Taylor Carter may have retired from the session. What happened there? I don't see. Oh, he lost it out of the final turn on the front straightaway.
Maybe maybe he touched the curb too much, and that does give car vibrations. And
yeah, we saw a couple drivers in the D2 race DNF on that corner during the race, and unfortunately Taylor Carter did not set a time there, so he's going to start from the back of the grid in about 15 minutes time here.
I was talking about that Alfa Romeo duo. That's a brand new duo, and now they're in 2 and 4. Alfonso last season had a rough one. He qualified well, but had trouble actually in the race. So it'd be nice to see if he could improve. And then Cryptid coming up from D3. I believe he only raced 1 or 2 races in Baku, and that's where he won, I believe.
Yeah, we know Cryptid's another super fast driver, kind of like Ian who's not racing tonight, but just guys that got joined ZRL in D3, leapfrog D2, went straight to D1 just because of their raw pace, and I'm sure he'll fit in just fine here. He's already got a P4 time on the board with the soft tires. In fact, I think he might be on a flyer. Let's hop on board with Cryptid. He works his way around the Red Bull ring. Head up to turn 3, carries a lot of speed through there. Gets on the power super early. Goes over to the right side of the track, trying to shorten the length of this track any way you can. I think it's actually the quickest lap time on the calendar, with 1:04 to get all the way around. I don't think there's any other tracks that are quicker than this one. So, shave any 10th or 100th you can off your lap time by running the quickest time. Oh, and he got really loose there through turn 6. Correction, that was turn 6. Looks like he's still on it. See what Cryptic can do here on the soft tires. Runs really wide through turns 9 and 10.
Yeah, that's not a good lap for him.
No, it didn't go any faster. Yeah. You can run wide between turns 9 and 10 there. Oh, he loses it. He loses it on his cooldown lap. Oh, no, he's disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Oh, Codemasters, no, don't do that to him. And he's blocking the racing line as the AI tries to get the car out of the way. Oh, my goodness. So he impeded 2 or 3 cars right there.
Yeah, trying to get it to the marshal's post so they could get it off the track. And
wow. The Cryptid's not going to have any chance to improve. In fact, it just pushes him down to P20 for the disqualification. Man, that's what this game will do. And that's, it's a lot like real F1. I mean, some weeks you have good weeks, some weeks the equipment fails, and we were talking about it on the D2 broadcast. With there were some network issues with some of the drivers. We talk about how reliable, in real F1 racing, your car has to be reliable, right? But in sim racing, your equipment has to be reliable, and the game has to be reliable. And if those things don't work, you can have a bad time. And unfortunately, Cryptic just found that out and has to start dead last.
And the times are ramping up a bit, I think. But also, look at the spreads. There's not much space. If you gain a 10th, you can go up 1 or 2 positions. You could go up like 3-4 positions just by gaining 1/10 on your lap.
It was like Alfonso Luis and Peter I can't even say his name. I never get it right. Giordano? I can't say it. But Alfonso and Peter both down in the 103s. Let's hop on board with Lee Hall here in the McLaren as he heads down the back straightaway. He's also off the pace. Not using any of his battery right now. So let's about Duncan Mechanic. Also not using any of his batteries, coming back into the pits. Looks like Hunter J is still in the medium tire. He's on a flyer as he heads down the turn number 6. Pretty good advantage, Ethan, starting on the medium tire in this race if you can do it, because it gets you further into that first stint and gives you more options at the end.
So I think otherwise. The media, you want to be in a DRS train on this track because everyone's gonna be on it, right? And since everyone's starting on the soft, they're gonna be in the same train when they box and stuff. So you're gonna end up losing time by trying to run the overcut.
It's a good point.
Which you hope you can make up with the softs at the end, but with the DRS train again, it's just because these times everyone's so close and it could be rough.
You're right. This will be the first D1 race we've had with a, I guess, quote unquote, seeded field, right? So first season we had in ZRL, everyone kind of got into D1, then you built D2, then you built D3. You had fast and slow drivers in each one, but now that D1 has been reseeded and restacked, you're right. Look at these times. We have from P3 down to P17. Everybody, now with P18, everybody within 1 second of each other. And you're absolutely right. The DRS train may be a thing that happens in this race. We haven't seen a whole lot of it in ZRL yet, but with all the fast drivers together, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, if we look back at Austria last season, it was a DRS train at the front for the longest time because they were all so close, and this track is so short that you're just trying to extract as much time as possible.
Yeah, there's 3 DRS zones here. It's a significant advantage to be in a DRS train if you can get in one. Like there's a Red Bull. Is that Joel? Yeah, Joel Guron on a flyer here, and the Red Bull going through his turns 9 and 10. Nice and clean through 9. Takes the curb, nice and clean through 10. What can Joel Guron do on his soft tires? Goes up to P9, 104.3, but look, just what you said, Ethan. He's 0.3 off the pace, and he's a P9. I mean, this field is so tight right now.
Yeah, last season I feel like that could have been P3, P4, just being 3/10 off P1.
Now, what do you think Raptor's thinking here coming out on medium tires?
I think I'm not too sure. Was he racing on softs? I think he's gonna try to set his fastest lap on mediums because mediums don't have that much of a difference on this track. It's very small, but I think he's trying to maybe just sneak into the top 10.
I think he already set his fastest lap on the softs. So he's gonna have to go quicker on the mediums, and a 104.4. I mean, it's doable on the medium tires, and Raptor's a quick enough driver to make it happen. So let's go ahead and hop on board with Raptor and see what he does on the medium tires. He's got a car in front of him there. He's also starting a hot lap. Might pick up a little bit of a slipstream.
Raptor set a 104 flat, I believe, on softs in D2. That was his pole lap. So we'll see what he could do on the medium.
Let's check his sector 1 time up. He's only up 6-1. He's only down 0.06 of a second so far. He's still got that faster car in front of him that may pull him down some of these straightaways, but
down into sector 2, that's going to lead to a bunch of dirty air.
He's struggling for grip right there. Let's see, he's coming up on after turn 6. We'll get the sector 2 time here. He's pushing that car hard, though. Really hard. Oh, and he's up on his time by 0.04 of a second. He's going to have to really commit here to turns 9 and 10. Let's see what Raptor can do. Takes a lot of curb on 9. A lot of curb on 10. This looks really good. You think he invalidated? Let's see.
He invalidated both.
He was slower anyway.
Lap, yep. And he won't be able to go again either. Well, he'll be able to go again at the end of the session, but I don't think he'll be able to go faster.
Hopefully he can get to the pits and get another time in.
I don't think he doesn't have time to go into the pits. I don't believe he's gonna have to do this lap as a cool down lap and then go again.
Let's check out Lee Hall of the McLaren, currently sitting 1/10 out of the pole position. He's on a flyer down the back straightaway, heading down to turn 4. Nice and clean through turn 4. He's got a car in front of him, gets out of the way. I think that was actually Raptor getting out of the way in the Haas. Lee Hall's up He's up 1.5 tenths on his fastest time. That would put him to provisional pole if he can keep that time through the last 2 turns of this circuit. Takes a lot of curve, and he runs wide there. And I don't know if he invalidated or not. Runs really wide there.
Oh, yep, he's invalidated. So that could have been a potential pole lap.
That was a pole lap. It was a pole lap, and he lost it because he went off track. You got to stay on the track in this game, and it enforces it very strictly.
And because of where he did it, he invalidated both his current lap and his next lap, so this lap won't even count. So he's going to have to try to cool it down and hopefully make it to the checkered flag.
Right on board, Jack Fletcher in the Ferrari. Jack Fletcher, one of the drivers that switched teams, was the Mercedes last year. He's in the Ferrari this year. New engine sound, new feel of the car. And he's going to abort and go into the pits with 1:23 to go.
So Peter Giordano is starting his fast lap right now.
Let's hop on board. Peter Gio Giordano. Oh, and Bob Law. So Bob Loblaw, I think that's the old Eric McCurney, if I'm not mistaken, has
Yes.
DQ'd for being parked in a dangerous position. That pushes him down to P20 and starting dead last.
As Peter Giordano is 0.07 of a second up on he's gained.
He's
time on his
faster.
lap.
Yeah, I get confused by that myself.
I don't know what to say because you could.
I'm gonna
either
start
one's
saying
correct.
up. When he's faster, I'm gonna say he's up. When he's slower, I'm gonna say he's down. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. I heard him say it in the D3 broadcast yesterday. Heads through the 2 left-hand turns on the track. He's still down almost a full tenth, and a tenth
so
would
Peter
put him.
Giordano, looks like this looks like a potential pole lap.
Looks like it indeed. 2 corners to go, riding the curbs, keep it on the track. He does. He comes across the line. What's Peter Giordano gonna do?
Did he invalidate?
And he did invalidate. It must have been the last corner. He's going for another flyer though. He is still on it, so he's got one more shot at it as the clock begins to run out. It's like Alfonso Luis may be on a flyer as well.
Yep, he's down on his time actually right now by only 25,000, so not too much. But
And the session is over, so these are the last flying laps we're going to see. Alfonso Luis is up on his time by 300ths and runs really wide through turns 7 and 8 right there. That probably invalidated his lap. But he's still on it. Alfonso Luis comes across the line and goes faster with a 103.8. Duncan McCamick has crashed somewhere on the circuit.
And I think Peter Giordano messed up as I saw it flash that he's actually down on his time by 3/10. Yep,
He's aborted
made
the
a
lap.
mistake, yeah.
He's aborted the lap. Let's see. Let's hop on board with Johan Ludwig, who is coming across the line in the Mercedes. Does not improve, remains P10. Victor Diaz out of the session. Looks like he crashed. I don't see where he crashed either, but both retired out of the session. But I think we've got our grid.
it's going to be interesting. The two people got disqualified, which I believe Cryptid could have caused some chaos up at the top.
Yeah, but it wasn't the end of the session. I mean, maybe there was enough time to put another flyer in there. I didn't see what happened to Bob there, but he is also starting dead last. But our top 10 looks like Alfonso Luis in the Alfa Romeo, who decides to go even faster on his last lap and sets a new fastest time with a 103.837, I think it was. So that was even faster than his last lap. Alfonso Luis P1, Peter Giordano in P2, Lee in P3, Victor in P4, Duncan McCamick P5, and Jordan in P6 in that AlphaTauri. D2 promotion, Hunter J up in the Ferrari starting P7, Jack Fletcher P8, Ferrari starting 7th and 8th, so they'll be on the 4th row together. Joe Guron, Johan Ludwig, Jack Pemberton, Raptor, Cody Atkinson, and Moto Lee rounding out your top 14. Of course, you start outside the top 10, you get to start on any tire that you want. So these drivers will get a chance to see whether or not they want to stay in that DRS train, like you're saying, Ethan, or they want to go to the medium tire.
I think you could stay on the DRS train in the mediums. It's just a matter of the laps where you trying to gain position.
I mean, but you know, you mentioned it earlier in qualifying. Let's talk about the pace. I looked at the standings there, and 1 through 14 were 6/10ths of a second from each other. That's as far as my screen went down. I don't know what happened below that, but I mean, not even a second. We're talking 6/10ths of a second, barely over half a second apart. These guys are gonna be running so close to each other, and you see it a lot in the esport events, the DRS trains, and this is a track for it.
Yeah, you see it even in real life as well, like where you just can't get past. You're stuck in DRS.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So I'm not sure if we get a formation lap or not. It's like one light. Yeah, we are going to get a formation lap here. Pull the tires up and let's see what our drivers have decided they want to do. Yep, P11 down through P20, except for Taylor Carter is going to be on the medium tire.
So Taylor needs to try to build his. Taylor needs to overtake into at least around P14, P13 to where he could like stay with the top 10 guys and stay in that DRS train that pits on lap 12, I would imagine, for the softs.
So Ethan, who are you going to keep your eye on as this race enters the first phase here?
I think I'm going to try to keep my eye on Peter Giordano. I know he's really quick. Alfonso does struggle in races, and he might just come away with the win.
Yeah, Peter is, we know, is a quick driver, Season 1 division champion. And starting off Season 2 with a great start here in P2. We know he's got the race pace. I didn't see him make too many mistakes last season. But, yeah, this is a whole different stack of the grid here, man. Different drivers, different pace. He's got a lot more competition now. I'm going to keep my eye on Victor Diaz in 4th place and also Hunter J down in 7th with the D2 promotion. We know he's super quick. And I know from experience that he's super quick on the starts, too. The man gets lightning starts, so we'll see how he does here on the start.
So keep an eye on Cryptid, starting from P19. He's rapid, so I don't see him staying. I think he'll go into the top 10.
Cryptid,
but everyone is so fast as well. So
very fast driver. We always like to see a last to first type challenge, and we know he's quick. I mean, Pylon won the D2 race, and he's down in 15th place. It just kind of shows you the pace of D1. But here we go. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights. Lights out, and away we go. Alfonso gets a good start over Peter Giordano there, and it looks like Lee Hall's going to look around the outside of the Aston Martin. It falls in 1, 2, 3. They fall in the turn 1 single file as they head up the hill down turn 3. Look at the McLaren and Peter Giordano side by side. Lee Hall at the inside of Peter as they head up the turn 3. Going to make the move stick. Now it's traction down the back straightaway. Looks like the McLaren's going to fall behind the Ashton here.
There was a bit of contact with Cody Atkinson. I don't know if he lost his front wing, but his front wing was definitely tapped. And he's lost 3 positions, and Garrett Elder lost 4 positions and is now in P20.
Garrett Elder all the way down in P20. The back of the field here still very bunched up.
As Cryptid makes a move, he's gained 4 position and is up into P15.
Everybody's trying to settle into their race pace here, figure out what's going on. Let's see if anybody dives into the pits for a wing change here. Looks like they're all going to stay out. They're side by side, Moto Lee and Taylor Lee for 19th place. Side by side through the last 2 turns. They survive and they live to race another day. Meanwhile, back up front, Alfonso Luis has pulled about a half a second lead over Peter Giordano. And everybody running single file, and yep, they're setting up that DRS train you talked about, Ethan. And like Hunte may be making a run on Duncan McCamick here, and Hunte goes around after turn 3. Ferrari's facing the wrong way. He's got to let the whole field pass, and he goes all the way down to the end, and he does another donut for the fans as he gets on his way. Bad news for Hunter down in P20 in the Ferrari. And he's gonna.
I don't know if Moto Lee was also affected because he's down 5 positions as well.
Peter Giordano has already picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits on the second lap of the race. That is not going to help your cause.
Oh, and Joe Gorin, who started P9, is up into P6 along his teammate.
Joe Guron in the Red Bull, under attack from Jack Fletcher in the Ferrari. And it looks like DRS wings are open, so now we're going to start seeing some trains. We head back up toward our leaders. Peter Giordano is all over the back. Oh, they have a virtual safety car. There's an incident in turn 1. Looks like maybe Hunte and Cody Atkinson came together. Oh no, it was Cody and Bob Loblaw. Like, looks like they had an incident in turn 1.
Oh, and Bob Loblaw is out of the Grand Prix.
Bob is out of the race. Cody has lost his front wing. Now it's a full safety car. It's going to bunch these drivers back up. We didn't see the incident there. We know those drivers were all battling down in P17, P18.
So it's early into the race, but safety cars is something Peter does not want. He's already picked up a 3-second penalty with only 3 laps, and he's would not want the field to be bunched up.
You think it's too early to start thinking about an early pit stop, get off the soft tire? It looks like, yeah, they're all staying out. Nobody's coming in.
Yeah, the ideal time is around lap 12, so a lap 7 safety car would be about the earliest you would want to pit.
Let's talk about our drivers who have had the biggest position changes so far. Victor Diaz up 1 position over Lee Hall there, takes 3rd place. Joel Guron with a great start, started P9 up to P6. And Raptor, who finished 2nd in the D2 race about an hour ago, has moved from P12 to P8.
Shaggy Muffin is... am I having timing? No.
Looks like the timing's still kind of sorting itself out here a little bit.
So in the back, Pylons gained 3 positions from all the shuffling around with the crashes and just chaos.
Looks like Hunte has gone to the medium tires, making a pit stop to repair his car.
It's interesting because tires, I feel the mediums I don't think will last the end. So he's either gonna have to bank on another safety car, or he's gonna have to commit to this 2-stop, which will make him fast at the end. But again, in the DRS train, it's gonna be painful for him to try to recover.
Yeah, it looks like all 3 drivers that pitted, Hunter, Garrett, and Cody, all go to the medium tire on their pit stop. That leaves the front 7 drivers on the soft tire. And you got Raptor and Jack Pemberton running the medium tire back in 8th and 9th position. And you've got Jordan and Johan in 10th and 11th running the soft tire. And aside from Taylor Carter down in 15th place, everyone else is running the medium tire. So nobody on the hards. Everyone's sticking to the soft medium strategy. And I don't know. Is this one of those tracks where the hard tire actually has pace?
I don't think so. I think the soft and mediums are so close together in their pace that the hards are basically useless on this track.
And, you know, I may have missed it, but Peter Giordano is in the lead of the race. Alfonso Luis is in 2nd. We're getting reports from the Alfa Romeo team that there may have been an incident with the safety car, and it caused Alfonso to go off track, and Peter jumped at it and took the position behind the safety car.
That might be looked at after.
Well, we're about to go back to green flag racing. Safety car is coming in this lap. Alfonso Luis is definitely in 2nd place behind Peter here in the Aston Martin. Let's see what kind of jump Peter can get on the pack here. We want to back him up a little bit. Try to build a gap. He's not backing him up too much. Now he's slowing him down. It kind of a start go there for a second. I think they all made it through.
Yeah, he doesn't get the best launches. I feel like all the cars got jumps on him.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of started, stopped, and started again, and everyone else just kept going, and they're all over the back of him. Looks like we're clean through turn 1 as we head up the hill to turn 3. Got a McLaren side by side with an Alpine back here. That's Lee Hall looking around the outside of Victor Diaz. They go side by side to turn 3. Like they made it through, and McLaren takes the position. Everybody's single file as they head down through sector 2 of the track here, settling into their pace, trying to get the feel of the car. Out front, Peter Giordano is maintaining about a half a second gap over Alfonso Luis, Lee Hall, Victor Diaz, Duncan McCann, your top 5.
Lee Hall gets a 3-second penalty as well.
Oh, and he almost lost it coming out of that last turn too. He lost a ton of speed there. Now he's under a threat from Victor Diaz and the Alpine behind him. Nice save, quick reflexes there, but
as Shaggy Muffins loses the car.
Shaggy Muffins in the Williams, pointed back in the right direction, heading back up the hill, but you're right, losing lots of positions here. Right on board, Duncan Mechanic, as he looks at Jack Fletcher behind him and the Ferrari chasing him down, and Raptor all over the back of Jack Fletcher in that Ferrari.
I believe the Red Bulls swapped positions, didn't they?
Yeah, Duncan was originally in front. Joel did move up to P5. I think you're right. And Hunter J picked up a 3-second penalties. Yeah, so these track limits are definitely going to be a factor. They were a factor in the D2 race. Ended up influencing this who won the race. Raptor actually finished the race first, but those off-track penalties pushed him down to P2. As now
so
we have
DRS is enabled, and Alfonso and Peter are pulling ahead from Lee Hall, who's not going to have DRS on Alfonso.
Looks like Joel Guron's made a move around the outside of Victor Diaz, heading up to turn 3. Nice clean move. I think Victor got a bad run out of turn 1 right there. But now Joel Guron goes off the track out of turn 3, and they're side by side heading down to turn 4. I think Victor's going to take the position back.
One small mistake, and everyone's looking to pounce on it.
I think it goes back to what you were saying, just the speed of these drivers. They're all so close that you're right, one little misstep, and you can lose a position or two very quickly in this mess.
We have yellow flags as Peter's
off. Peter's in the wall.
And he has no front wing.
Our race leader is in the
Alfonso.
fence.
Alfonso picks up a 3-second, but Peter's wing is completely off.
Safety car. Safety car is actually going to save Peter right there because that's going to give him a chance to go in the pits and get that repaired. But our race leader lost it out of turn number 8. Looks like he nosed it into the barrier on the right side of the track. And that Aston Martin is going to need a new front wing. He dives into the pits and, wow. Did not see that one coming at all.
What a change of events. We were thinking that Peter and Alfonso was going to pull away from the pack, and now Peter's in the pits.
But you know something else that happened here? Shaggy Muffin and Hunter J both went and pitted right when that safety car came out. So if they can catch back up to the group here, they may be able to leapfrog a few cars behind the safety car. If other drivers come into pit, maybe they couldn't make it into the pits in time.
Yeah, so they're going to be under Delta, though, because they haven't caught up to the safety car.
Oh, you're right. They went, so they can't go as fast as they want. But yeah, you're right. Maybe that advantage isn't going to work out the way I was seeing right there. Jack Pemberton got a drive-through, speeding under the safety car. Oh, they're all going to the pits, yeah.
This does, however, sync Hunter J with the rest of the pack, which, you know, will allow him to actually be racing for position.
I jumped on board with Jack Pemberton as they were coming into the pits right there, and they all just accordioned into each other. Now Jack's going to need a new front wing. It's going to cost some positions there. He's actually going to the hard tire. Victor Diaz going to the hard tire. How about that?
So yeah, so Jeff does tell you to go into hard tires. However, the softs can very much last the whole race, or not the softs, the mediums.
Yes, you're absolutely right. But no, yeah, that accordion into the pits right there. I think 3 or 4 drivers had to change their front wing because they all just smashed into each other heading into the pits. But I mean, we're only on lap 10. We got 26 laps to go here. Jack Fletcher picking up a warning for track limits behind the safety car. Man, it's going to be hard to keep up with all these penalties.
Interestingly, Peter Giordano goes on to soft, so he's gonna have to box again.
Peter down there in P19 on the soft tire, maybe committing to the 2-stop strategy, banking on another safety car perhaps, or just trying to get as much raw pace out of that Aston Martin as he can and make up as many positions as he can here.
Yeah, the softs cannot go 26 laps.
So looking at our penalties, Alfonso Luis, your race leader, is currently got 3-second penalties, assuming from off tracks. Cryptid, which by the way, remember started in P19 up to P5 in that Alfa Romeo, but he's also got 3 seconds worth of penalties. Lee Hall in the McLaren got 8 seconds. That's a 5-second for a contact on the safety car, I'm assuming, and an off track. Jack Fletcher with 3, Jack Pemberton with a drive-through, and Hunter and Peter down with 3 seconds as well. Yeah, Pylon. Look at Pylon P4. I mean, these guys, Raptor P9, Pylon P4, Cryptid, and Taylor all started outside of the top 10. And now they're currently 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yep, they are gonna have to box again, but under the right situation, they could have very much benefited from this.
Well, I mean, but you said it, right? We've already had 2 safety cars. So these tires, I mean, they're not that worn. They've got maybe, 4 or 5 laps of racing on them. You could maybe stretch them out a lot longer than you originally planned, but let's see. Safety car's going to come back in this time by. Let's hop up front with our leader, Alfonso Luis, back in the lead of the race with the Alfa Romeo. And Joe Guron in the Red Bull behind him, Raptor behind him. And I know Raptor is super quick, and so is Pylon, and so is Cryptid. So we'll see what Alfonso and Joel can do with these guys as we get ready to go back to green and come through the last corner of turn number 10. He backs him up a little bit and then builds up a nice little gap as they head up to turn 1. Oh no, and Moto Lee goes around into the barrier out of turn 1.
Oh, and he's back behind.
I think he lost that on his own under acceleration right there, but man, looks like Cryptid just got past Pylon too as they head up to turn 4. Pylon's trying to hang around the outside here.
There's more yellow flags as Cody Atkinson is around as well, and he's followed behind Johannes Lutton.
Looks like Pylon's going to keep the position over Cryptid there as they head up the turns 6 and 7. These guys racing really hard. Alfonso Luis has already pulled out a second over Joel Guron. That's what he needs to do for the DRS. We have another yellow. Looks like Jack Fletcher may have gone around in the Ferrari, and he has lost, I can't really tell. Looks like he's gone around outside of turn number 7. Lets the field go by, and he has to rejoin down in P17. And these drivers are struggling to keep it on the track. Raptor picks up a 3-second penalty. Alfonso Luis, though, has already made a second gap between him and second place. And that
so Jack Pemberton serves his drive-through penalty.
Jack Pemberton's going to serve his penalty. Going to get that out of the way. It's like Joel Guron is staying right about a second behind of Alfonso Luis there. We have another car around. Who is that? Is that Jack Fletcher? Is that Jack Fletcher?
Yeah, that's Jack Fletcher struggling to get his tires up to temps or down, and he's missing a front wing as well, and decided not to box. Maybe he just lost it there. He's gonna have to do a whole lap without a front wing.
It's still pretty early in this race. It's got a lot of racing to go. Looks like Raptor is all over the back of Joel Guron here as they head down the front straightaway. Oh, we got a McLaren goes around.
That's Pylon.
Pylon is out of the race and Crypt is out of the race. Both of them are on top of each other and glitching very bad on the front straightaway. It looks like, I think Pylon went wide, came back onto the track and hit Cryptid when he came across the track. Safety car is out. Both of those drivers out of the race. Wow, that's going to give Jack Fletcher a chance to come in and put a new front wing on the car and reset everybody. And what do you think? Is it time to pit now?
Yeah, this is perfect timing to pit, actually. But the medium runners are gonna have to commit to a hard tire because the softs won't last the whole race.
Yeah, you're
unless
right.
they want to stay out and risk their positions as well as not getting a safety car later on in the race.
Looks like Alfonso Luis is coming in the pits. Joe Guron's going to follow him in. Raptor's going to stay out on those medium tires and take over the lead of the race. Looks like Lee Hall is going to do the same thing on the medium tires. So all the soft tires are coming in. Medium tires are staying out. Put medium tires on the cars now. And even Shaggy Muffin, I think, was our final driver on the soft tires. He's going to be the last one to pit. He's coming in. Let's see what kind of tires he puts on. I mean, I don't see any hard tires. I mean, Cody Atkinson put the hard tires on, like you said, but everyone else is on the mediums right now.
It's going to be interesting to see how this tire pit situation works out.
So Raptor has now taken over the lead of the race in that Haas. Lee Hall in second in the McLaren. Garrett Elder in third. In the Williams, excuse me, and Duncan McCamick fourth. Hunte back up in fifth place in that Ferrari after having a rough lap a few laps ago. But it just goes to show you, I mean, with the pit stops and the shuffling and the incidents, I mean, this race is anybody's race until the final lap of the race.
And the thing with Hunter was he was able to get back into sync with the pit stop, so he's actually like there for position.
Oh, no, what happened there? What was that? Raptor's upside down.
And he's disqualified from the session.
The safety car just took Raptor. The safety car just hit Raptor and took him out of the race.
Oh, and Victor Diaz, was it Shaggy Muffins or Victor Diaz that I think ran into the back of Raptor?
Oh my gosh. Raptor's game glitched and they put the safety car on top of him. And he did what Eric McCurney did at Baku last season. And it DNF'd him. And like you said, it took out someone else behind him as well. That puts Lee Hall and the McLaren up in first place. Oh my goodness.
Shaggy Muffin is currently missing a front wing, and he was right behind Raptor as he absolutely just plowed into the stationary car.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it happened to Alfonso, right? Because it knocked him out of the lead. It happened to Raptor. Knocked him out of the lead. Into a DNF'd Raptor, flipped him upside down, and Codemasters thought that was a dangerous position, so they gave him a DNF for good measure. But, I mean, oh my goodness. Well, in any case, we're going to go back to green flag racing. And Lee Hall is going to lead the pack on 5-lap-old medium tires. Gerald Erder in second place with 11-lap-old medium tires. And away we go. We've got a car in the wall in the front straightaway. Who is that? That's Shaggy Muffins. Oh, he went in the pits. I'm sorry, he went in the pits.
Shaggy Muffins in the pits.
Okay, false alarm there. Everybody's single file as I head up the hill here.
Oh, Cody Atkinson lost it.
Oh, and he took out Jack Fletcher. Is that Jack Fletcher in front of him? No. Who was that in front of him? I saw another car there, but I don't know.
Is it? I think that's the lap car of Moto Lee.
Okay, is that right?
I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, Moto Lee's missing a wing. Cody Atkinson's missing a wing. Shaggy Muffins is stuck in the pits, by the way. Shaggy Muffins has had hard tires, and he's just sitting in the pits. I don't know what happened there, but that doesn't look good either. Back up front, Garrett Lehall leads the race in the McLaren. Garrett Elder in second, and we got another yellow. Looks like we have Jordan. Jordan's gone off in turn 7 in the Alpha. What is that? AlphaTauri. What a race! These guys. This is hard.
This is chaos. You're just trying to stay alive, and you could get good points here.
Just stay away from the safety car and stay away from other cars. You'll have a good day. So Garrett Elder's already is 1.5 seconds back behind Lee Hall. Duncan McCamick half a second behind him, followed by Hunte, Alfonso Luis, Johan, Joel Guran, Victor, and Taylor, all in the DRS zones. And I'm assuming we're going to get DRS next time by, so we should see these guys starting to pick up some speed. And maybe even start closing that gap down to the leader, who is continuing to stretch out, now 1.75 seconds ahead.
Yes. So the Aston Martin's in 10 and 11 after they're trying to win the constructors title as they did last season. Of course, Jack Pemberton replacing Bronson Stafford, but more than capable driver, and they're in 10 and 11 looking to race up the field after their mistakes.
Peter Giordano sets a new fast lap, 106.3. Garrett Elder's all over the back of Duncan McCamick here.
Duncan was able to make the move on Garrett, so Duncan is now in P2 and has the effective race lead on penalties right now.
Look at Hunte around the outside of of Garrett Elder. Going to try to make that position stick. They head down the turn number 6. Hunte's keeping on the inside. He touches him.
Oh, that's always such a tough corner to go side by side through. As Hunter he's hit Victor Diaz, and he's round as well.
Oh, that went from bad to worse for Hunte. He had a little bit of contact, went off track, came back on, got hit again. And that Ferrari is back underway, but he went from P4 to P12 in 2 corners right there.
Duncan in P2 sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Checking out Garrett Elder and Alfonso Luis swapping positions up the hill to turn 3. A bunch of drivers behind there, all nose to tail, and the DRS train heading down to turn number 4.
Yeah.
Like Jack Fletcher's going to make a move. Or it's Peter Giordano, I'm sorry. And the Aston Martin.
Giordano. I think both of them got the move done on Taylor Carter.
But Peter's working on his recovery drive here, back up to P9. Making good positions back up for the Aston Martin. Meanwhile, back up front, Johan is running down Garrett Elder for 4th place. And he's bringing Joel Guran and Victor Diaz with him. But you're right, Ethan, I think we've entered the DRS train phase at this moment. Nobody can really make a move because they all have DRS. There's no advantage to the car behind if you both have the same advantage. So I'll tell you what, Joel Guran has got a really good exit out of turn 3 right there behind Johan, but he tucks in behind. Yeah, it just didn't.
So right now it's going to come down to ERS, and Johannes has a lot of ERS. He's not been deploying, so he might actually be able to go into attack mode on some of these guys in front of him that are running low.
Looks like Peter Giordano just got around Jack Pemberton for 8th place. Continues to work his way up through the field. Victor Diaz all over the back of Joel Guron here.
Lee Hall has another time penalty. So Lee Hall right now has 11 seconds worth of time penalties.
Oh, that is not going to be a good day for Lee Hall.
Yeah, that'll drop him down to P11 as it stands. No, because other people have time penalties, but it will drop him down pretty far.
And Johan just got around Garrett Elder for 4th place. That's the front of the DRS train right there, so that's where the swapping's going to happen. And further back, it looks like Victor just got around Garrett Elder, or excuse me, just got around Joel Guron. Head down into turn 4. Red Bull's hanging around the outside, drops in behind the Alpine. Everybody's starting to spread out a little bit here. Oh no, the Red Bull's gone around. Who was that? That was Duncan McCamick's gone around. Duncan McCamick and the Red Bull has gone around through turn 9, dropped down to P11. Doesn't look. I don't think he hit anything. I think he's fine. Going to continue on his way. And we have a yellow in sector 2. Is that Jordan? No, it must be Cody.
I think that's Cody, and he's just struggling this whole Grand Prix.
Yeah, Cody down at P15, lost it through turn 3. He's got the leaders running him down here in a few seconds. Which, by the way, Lee Hall has lost his gap over Alfonso Luis. Alfonso Luis all over the back of our race leader. Got back within DRS zone, and he is DRS range, and he has closed that gap. He's used a lot of battery in the meantime. They're both running about the same amount of battery left, but that DRS on this track is huge, especially with 3 DRS zones. It makes sense just to kind of settle in behind at this point and make the move down and maybe turn 3 on top of the hill.
So Duncan's going to try to have to catch up to that DRS train, which is a tall order for him. It's so close on pace, but he does have the advantage as he has no time penalties. Him, Jordan, Joel, and Victor are the only drivers without time penalties.
Here we go, move for the lead. DRS makes it look really easy. Alfonso Luis goes around the outside of Lee Hall, but that's going to give Lee Hall the DRS as they head down the next straightaway. But he got a bad exit out of turn 3. I don't think he's going to make the move this time by, but just stay within the DRS zone and you'll be fine. And Peter Guardano's gone around. Peter Guardano's lost it out of turn 3.
It just goes from bad to worse for him. He's trying to gain a championship lead right now. His projected championship contenders not at this race in Ian.
Well, this isn't a good way to start the season. I mean, your defending champion had solid drives every race last season, but for now it is not working out. We got about 12 laps to go, and unless the safety car comes out, he is going to be trailing Duncan McCamick, who both of them trying to run down this pack.
And both of them were fighting for the championship last season.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Back up front, looks like Lee Hall is trying to run down Alfonso Luis. He's going to have DRS this time as they head up the hill to turn 3.
Garrett Elder goes into the pits as I believe his tires are falling off the cliff.
Garrett's got 20 lap old medium tires. You're right. He's had those tires on since lap 5. Time to get rid of them, put some softs on. It looks like Lee Hall is actually keeping up with Alfonso with the DRS. He hasn't been close enough to make a move yet. Remember, Lee Hall's carrying 11 seconds worth of penalties. Alfonso Luis has 3 seconds worth of penalties. That's going to put Victor Diaz, who's currently sitting in 3rd place, as our provisional leader of the race after all the penalties sort themselves out at this point. We still got 11 laps to go and plenty of time for Alfonso to build that gap out he needs to maintain that win. The yellow in sector 1. That Jack Pemberton went around? No?
No, that was AlphaTauri. Well, yeah, it was Cody again. He's not having a good time at this Grand Prix.
Cody's really struggling. Like Lee Hall's running down our leader. He's going to tuck in behind. He's right on his gearbox now, but he's not making any moves to overtake. Meanwhile, it looks like Joel Guron just got around Jack Pemberton. And that white Red Bull. Hunte sets a new fast lap, 105.9. But he's down in 14th place, so that won't give him a point unless he's up in the top 10. But he does deny a point from everybody else in the race. Jack Fletcher picks up another 3-second penalty. Let's give a small clap to the 4 drivers so far who are left in this race who do not have any penalties so far. That's Victor Diaz, Joel Guron. And speaking of Victor Diaz, he just lost a position from Johan there heading up the turn 3. Mercedes takes P3 and drops Victor down to P4. But yeah, Victor, Joel, Duncan, and Jordan all no penalties so far this race. And given how tight everything is, that may be a blessing in disguise when it's all said and done. Look at that, they're still not done racing. Looks like Victor just made the move back around the inside in the turn 6, and the Alpine takes the position back from Johan there. Good racing from these two.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's so hard to make moves around here, like, consecutively, and they're able to do that. Just Duncan, I believe, makes the move on Taylor Carter. So he's up into P8, right behind his teammate who's in P7.
Duncan McCamick on a charge. Peter Giordano's back up in 10th place. He has caught Taylor Carter. They still got a ways to go to catch the rest of the pack. Meanwhile, back up front, Lee Hall has got that DRS again. He's all over the back of Alfonso here. Again, not quite close enough to make a move. Alfonso just gets such a good launch out of these corners. McLaren not able to keep up. Of course, Alfonso is on the newer tires. And you can imagine Lee Hall's tires, those medium tires with 17 laps on them, are probably starting to show some age right about now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they pit, because I don't think these tires can make it to the end.
You're talking another 8 laps to go here. That would need Lee Hall's tires to have to go 25 laps. Yeah, there were safety cars in there where they weren't on the pace, but I mean, I don't know. At this point, are you kind of committed to the strategy and just ride them till the end?
I think you do, but you also, I think at the end, if it needs to be, you don't want to risk a puncture and just end up losing or gaining no points from the race. Because that would be the worst case scenario.
Absolutely. And you could see how he is starting to fall back a little bit. Even with the DRS, he's struggling to keep up with Alfonso now. I think those tires are starting to kind of fall off a cliff. Jared Elder picking up another 3-second penalty. Go back and check out Joel Guron here. He's running down Jack Pemberton. Joel's got DRS. This is really the last group on the lead pack of cars here before we got a 6.5-second gap down to Duncan McCamick, who had that spin earlier and just hasn't had a chance to recover from it yet. He is making up time, but I don't know if he's got enough laps left in the race to really finish this thing out.
Yeah. Joe Goron's going to want to try to overtake and try to gain some points for Red Bull.
Please.
He does have the penalty advantage.
He's also got the DRS advantage. They hit him at turn 1. He's got to close that gap up, get a good run out of this corner. Look like a good exit. Jack Pemberton's still quite a ways down the road. I don't know if he's going to get all the way to him. See how quickly he closes up here in turn 3. Oh, Jack gets a bad exit out of turn 3. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be close enough. He's probably going to get the DRS, bring him right up behind him here. Have to go around the lap, do another lap. Meanwhile, back up in P3, Victor Diaz and Johan Ludwig are just as close and battling. The Mercedes versus the Alpine here. Hunte picks up another 3-second penalty. As we begin 6 laps to go.
Right now, if Alfonso slows down even a little bit, Victor could be in for a win right now.
Well, I want to see that. Yeah.
He's still got time to stretch that gap out. He's got the same lap old tires as Victor Diaz right now. But you're right, that gap needs to be about 3 seconds. And right now it is over 3 seconds. That would keep him in the race lead. Lee Hall still carrying quite a bit of penalties here. 14 seconds now. That would push him down, man, around P8, P9, somewhere around there. Got to keep it on the track, and I know it's hard to do when you're running as hard as these drivers are. We got a yellow in Sector 2. Looks like we had a car around in turn 3. Looks like that maybe in Jordan in the AlphaTauri. Yeah, both AlphaTauris really having a rough race.
Yeah, that team is definitely going to have a debrief after this one, talk about the season, because they can't be doing that much, and I don't think they'll do it for much longer.
Watching Joel Guron continue to run down Jack Pemberton.
I believe, I think Duncan went off track. Or I saw a car stopped and yellow flags.
I think Duncan's still, he's bringing that gap down between him and the lead pack here.
No, I think Duncan did go off track because Peter, I think, got the overtake because Peter's
Okay.
now 6. Yeah.
There you go. Running hard, trying to run this group down and pushing a little too hard, but looks like Lee Hall's continuing to stay in the DRS train of Alfonso here, just kind of carrying him around the track. The gap is getting bigger between this group and the group behind. Victor's got to run really hard if he wants a chance of this race win here. He's got to get about a half a second further up the road, but he's losing time to our race leaders. I think Joel Guron may be close enough to make a move here up to turn 3 this time. He is right on the back of Jack Pemberton. DRS advantage. He has no battery left, unfortunately. Let's see, they're both running out of battery. Goes around the outside. Clean racing in both drivers. He's going to have DRS again down this back straightaway, the turn 4. They go side by side, the turn 4. Red Bull on the outside, Aston Martin on the inside. Clean maneuver, makes the pass stick. And they continue on their way. Yellow in Sector 1. Looks like an Alpine is off.
It's Taylor Carter.
Taylor Carter also having a rough race down outside of the top 10 and does not get any better. He's actually just retired the car.
I don't know why he does that. You do get points for just finishing the race.
So with 3 laps to go, it looks like Alfonso Luis is continuing to drag Lee Hall around the track. They built the gap they need to secure the win. Victor Diaz now 3.6 seconds behind Lee Hall in the second group here. Looks like Jack Pemberton just got back around Joel Guron up in turn 3. These two swapping positions on the last few laps as Jack Pemberton locks his tires up in the turn 3 right there. Joel Guron going to make a move back into turn 4. Nope, thinks better up, drops in behind. It'll take him on the next lap, I'm sure.
Because of DRS, if I'm Joe Gordon, I'm going to try to wait till the last lap to try to get a move done. And
Yeah.
if I can stick with him and get it on the last lap where he can't possibly overtake me again. And also,
Right.
he has the time penalty, or yeah, time penalty advantage either way. So this move is not vital.
Yeah, it's hard to tell a race car driver not to pass though when he's got that much
Oh
more
yeah,
speed. But
as
yeah,
a
you're
racer,
absolutely right.
definitely.
There's nothing to really, you know, nothing to really gain here. You could just stay right behind him and still pass him after the penalties come out. But let's see. We're gonna hop on board with Jack, and he's gonna make the move around. Or Joel, he makes the move around the outside, up in the turn 3. 2 laps to go. You just don't want to see an incident between these two.
Yeah, I think Joel knows that this overtake is not necessary, so he just does it at the corners where it's easy. Doesn't want to go for the hard overtake.
Got a yellow in sector 3.
And the Williams of Shaggy Muffin, another person that struggled this whole Grand Prix.
The Lee Hall's tires up in second place have got to be screaming now as we start our final lap. He just stayed, like we talked about earlier, he just stayed out, committed to the strategy, get them to the end. Make one more lap around this track and you'll be doing just fine. So Johan has picked up another 3-second penalty. That's going to move him down possibly into the range of Joel Guron here.
No, I don't think so, unless Joel can have an absolutely amazing lap.
As Jack and Joel continue to battle over over P6 here.
Oh,
Continuing to run hard all the way to the very end, and with no more DRS zones left, that might be it for Joel. I don't think he's going to be able to get back around. But meanwhile, back up front, your race leader, Alfonso Luis, in the Alfa Romeo, looking to pick up the first win of the season, and he's going to do it. The Alfa Romeo, Alfonso Luis, wins the Austrian Grand Prix Round 1 of Division 1 Zoom Racing League. Let's see how the penalties shake out. Victor Diaz is going to cross the line in
He
second.
loses by 0.2 of a second.
And Johan down in third. Lee Hall moves down to P5 after his penalties. Joel Guron moves up to fourth. Peter Giordano in 6th place. Jack Fletcher in 7th. Jack Pemberton's 8th. Duncan McCamick 9th. Garrett Elder 10th. And Jordan's going to bring home that Alpha Tauri, who struggled this week, but he brings home a P11. And Hunte, Shaggy, and Cody will bring up the remainder of the field here. What an exciting first race for the D1 boys.
Oh yeah, very interesting to see how teams strategize going into the rest of the season, knowing how this race is shaken out.
So you're thinking it's just because of how competitive it is? Maybe they'll do different things and different strategies?
Just knowing which drivers like to do what, like just things like that. Knowing a driver's style is very important in racing them.
Alfonso Luis picks up the first win. Victor Diaz, second place. Third place, Johan. Let's see if we can talk to some of these guys. Let's bring in Johan first. Johan.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the podium. P3 for you. Started P10. That's a great drive. Walk us through that race, brother.
Yeah. It started very difficult. In qualify, I should have started P11, but I think it was a Haas who got disqualified, so I jumped on P10, and that was not the plan. So I had not the best tire for the start, the worst position to be in. And so the safety car saved me. I got a hit in after the first safety car, and I had a great engineer Tyler James who talked me through the tactics.
Definitely a huge advantage. I mean, how are those tires feeling after about 25 laps on those medium tires? Are they starting to go off on you there?
Yeah, I was just under the puncture zone. I think it was 75% on the last lap.
Wow.
So it was really I'm glad that the last safety car came out because I would not make it if it didn't come.
Make sure you swing by the Pirelli tent on the way out. Give a big
Yeah,
hug for making you last. But hey, congratulations, man. P3 is a
thank you.
P3. Well done. I'm sure we'll see you a lot more this season and maybe some more podiums,
Definitely. Yeah,
huh? All right, man. Have a good night.
yeah, you too.
Let's get Alfonso in here. Honestly, I'm looking for Lee. I don't see Lee anywhere. He's down. He's still debriefing with his team. Let's bring Alfonso in here. So there he is, our race winner, Alfonso Luis, picking up the first win of the season. Hey, welcome to the top step of the podium, Alfonso.
Oh my god. Um, it's my second podium in ZRL, which is surprising. Um, it was a
Well,
very hard race, especially with the first safety car, since everyone pit behind me. So I had to make those overtakes.
well, you started in a good position. You got the pole to start with, and then, you kind of fell behind. I think it was Raptor for a while, and then the safety car incident happened with him, and some other things. But you found yourself back up in P1, and you just held it for the rest of the race, showing the true pace, and nobody could really keep up with you. I think it's a pretty dominating statement from you. And how about you? I mean, I think what was it, a one-stop strategy you did or a two-stop? I'm trying to look back and see. It was a one-stop, right?
Yeah, one stop.
Yeah, one stop. So you dragged those soft tires out pretty far, put the mediums on. Um, I mean, how does it feel to be the pole and the winner of the first race of the new seeded D1 race, D1 division, when everybody's so tight and so fast?
Yeah, it feels good, especially with a very tight grid. I think P1 to P18 in the qualifying was like 1 second, which is very competitive. So I'm very happy for this win.
Awesome, man. I'm sure we'll see you on the top step of the podium more this season. I hope we do. Great race, man. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Get Victor in here. Hey, Victor, P2, brother. Nice job. Take us through that race.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. The safety cars were messing everything up strategy wise. Thought going on hards was the right call, but also had to keep in mind future safety cars, which ended up happening. Had to pit on the mediums and had to do some overtaking to get myself in position to grab a podium. And thought a win was there, but I think I missed it by about a tenth or two, and a win was on there. But no, it was a good start to the season, and that was a lot of fun to start off.
Yeah, absolutely. We were watching that Delta time. We knew that Alfonso had an off track penalty of 3 seconds, and you were right around that window. And he would pull it out, you'd pull it back. It was fun to watch, but in the end, I think you're right. I think you missed it by just maybe a tenth or two, which is
Yeah.
hey, P2 is still a great finish, brother. Great drive. Oops,
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. All right, Ethan. Yeah, P1 first race of the D1 division. Great race. I mean, I think this might set a good tone for the rest of the season, huh?
Oh yeah, this season will be insane, especially with our new point system. To see more competitive championship, and who knows who will come out with the championship.
Yeah. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll be at Circuit of the Americas on the Austin track. Very fast track, long straightaway. Should be lots of overtaking. And D3 starts at Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. D2 Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. D1, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm PBJ. That's